Are you wondering which phone has the best camera performance? Here at Phone Arena, we get to test a bunch of expensive flagship phones and compare their cameras. And this is our selection of the best camera phones, where we tell you which phones capture great photos at night, which ones give you the ability to zoom far and away with amazing clarity, which ones are great for video, and so on. And so far in 2020, there are 8 phones that stand out with their innovative cameras. And the first one you should consider is the Google Pixel 4 XL. Underrated and often too harshly criticized, the Pixel 4 XL remains on the top of the camera rankings with a simple 2-camera setup on its back that captures images with incredible dynamic range, beautiful colors, and plentiful detail both during the day, but especially if you are shooting in low light. You will love the Pixel 4 XL. It has one weakness, however, and that is the lack of a dedicated ultra-wide camera. An ultra-wide camera gives you the ability to shoot in tight spaces and capture stunning architecture and landscape shots. And it's our number one complaint about the Pixel. Second on this list comes the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, one of the most expensive phones on the list, but also one of the most versatile camera setups. While it does have a brand new massive 108 megapixel main sensor that uses a clever technique combining 9 pixels into one to create stunning 12 megapixel final shots, that's not even the biggest highlight of the Ultra. What you should be excited about is that 4x zoom periscope telephoto camera that Samsung has managed to fit in. It's an extremely complex piece of engineering that allows you to get incredibly clear pictures at 5x and even 10x zoom. It goes all the way to 100x digital zoom, but we don't really recommend shooting that far as photos do get blurry after 10x zoom, and especially after 30x. The Ultra's also got an ultra-wide lens for those epic shots and a depth camera for more accurate portrait capture. Next on the list comes the iPhone 11 Pro Max, a phone that needs no introduction. With that signature stove-top styling, it is easily recognizable, and it provides excellent images during the day with pleasing colors. And now, finally, Apple has introduced a night mode that is automatic and works like a charm. The iPhone 11 Pro Max features a 12-megapixel main camera, and then a 2x zoom telephoto camera, and then an ultra-wide shooter as well. Where it excels above all others, however, is video recording. It's capable to record crispy clear footage at 4K and as much as 60 frames per second. Plus, it's got reliable focusing and great video stabilization. Add to that some truly professional apps on iOS that unlock options like shooting with all 3 cameras at the same time. You get the picture. One thing we are missing on the iPhone, however, is a zoom camera that can capture clean detail at 10x zoom, like Android phones can. Next up, we have the OnePlus 8 Pro, one of the more affordable phones in this list, if a price around $900 can qualify as affordable. It features a triple camera system with a 48-megapixel main shooter that combines 4 individual pixels into one, so you end up with a great-looking 12-megapixel final shot, and it's also got a 3x zoom telephoto camera and an ultra-wide shooter, and even a funky color filter that is a topic of a separate discussion. What you need to know about the 8 Pro is that OnePlus has finally entered the camera big leagues, and it shoots good-looking photos at both night and day. Video is severely cropped, but this crop allows for an industry-leading super smooth stabilization, and a crispy 4K quality is on board as well. Next on the list is a device that is taking the world by storm recently, the Oppo Find X2 Pro. Chinese company Huawei was put on the U.S. Entity List last year, which has quickly led to its demise in Western markets as its new phones were prohibited from running Google apps. In 2020, Chinese company Oppo has quickly made use of the opportunity, and its latest flagship, the Find X2 Pro, is now available all across Europe and many other countries. With a 5x periscope zoom lens being the big highlight, the Find X2 Pro is one of the finest mobile zoom machines you can get, and it captures good-looking shots both during the day and at night. Next up on the list, we have the Huawei P40 Pro Plus. We have just mentioned that with no Google apps, we cannot recommend Huawei phones at the moment. but we have to speak about this phone just because it is a little technological wonder. It is the first one in the world to feature a 10 times native zoom lens of the periscope kind that gives you unprecedented zoom quality. Not only that, it has a secondary 3 times telephoto zoom lens for those who still want great clarity at more reasonable zoom levels. Heck, you can probably use this phone instead of binoculars. The P40 Pro Plus is a little camera wonder that serves as a good example of what future phones will bring us. Next up, we march on to the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II. Yes, a phone by Sony in 2020. The Japanese company has not been doing very well in the past few years, but the Xperia 1 Mark II is an excellent camera that has some tricks up its sleeve that no other phone in this list has. For example, Sony uses the impressive object tracking technology from its professional Alpha series of camera on this phone. So you can tap on an object in the viewfinder and focus will stay locked on that subject. Super awesome if you happen to record a lot of videos of skating or other sporty activities. The main camera here is a 12 megapixel one, and we should also say that Sony is making the sensors for many of the phones on this list, so expect excellence and no less. Images look detailed, colors look balanced without being over the top, and overall, Xperia 1 Mark II is an excellent camera to consider. Last but definitely not least, we have a phone from an up-and-coming brand, Realme, an offshoot of Oppo. The Realme X3 Super Zoom has a name that speaks for itself with a 5 times telephoto camera of the periscope kind that gives you that sweet, crispy clean picture when you zoom in, and overall, it's a very good performer. The best part? This phone costs half the price of most other phones on this list at just $500 or euros in Europe. It's a killer value in the camera game, with good performance from the main 64 megapixel camera, the ultra-wide camera, and it's even got a macro camera on board as well. And this is our selection of the most notable names in the smartphone camera big league, from Samsung to Google and Apple, and the newcomers like Oppo and Realme. Cameras on smartphones have never been better. Are you using one of these phones? Share your experience with its camera in the comments. Don't forget to also press that thumbs up button right below this video. It helps us continue making great new content, and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube for even more tech videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.